So this young lady had a dream to open a restaurant, but her 9 to 5 was destroying her dreams. She felt like she was always at work, and with the paycheck she was getting, she was just getting by. Now, all of her family members and friends told her how great of a cook she was, but they never really supported her. For example, they would say, "Oh, girl, you the best cook in the world." But when it came to special events like weddings and graduations, she wasn't getting booked from none of her family members and friends. Now, she tried to sell plates on the internet, wasn't working. Local neighborhood, wasn't working. Now this young lady is discouraged. She don't know what to do. At this point, she just wanted to give up on her dreams. So one day she goes to her grandmother's house and she tells her grandmother everything she's going through and how she doesn't have the support of her family members and friends. The grandmother says, "Baby, I get it, but one day your time is gonna come." She said, "Grandma, I've been at this for years. I think it's over with." The grandmother looked at her and smiled and said, "Baby, even though I'm old, I know one day I'm still gonna get my bakery shop." Now the young lady didn't think this out loud, but she like, "Grandma, you too old for a bakery shop." So the grandmother looked at her and said, "I know what you're thinking, and I'm gonna be honest. That bakery shop gonna make all of us money." In her head, she's thinking, "Yeah, whatever, Grandma." But she said, "I know that's right, Grandma, keep the faith." The grandmother chuckled and said, Watch what God do." So the next day, this young lady gets a call. It's from one of her good friends. So her friend calls her and says, "Listen, I need you to do me a big favor." The young lady say, "What?" Her friend says, "Well, my friend has a wedding on Saturday, and the person that was supposed to do her cake just canceled on her. Can you make her a cake?" Now this young lady don't got no baking skills at all, but she know how to cook. So she thought this could be an opportunity. She just make a cake and then she brings some of her food there too. She said, "Okay, I'll do it." She said, "Okay, how much you gonna charge her?" She gave her price and then she said, "Can you have the cake by Friday?" She said, "Yes, I'll have the cake by Friday." So this young lady goes home and bake cake after cake after cake. Nothing is coming out right. Everything's turning out bad. She had some family members come over and taste the cake and they was like, "Nah, that ain't it." And now it's Friday morning and this woman don't have a cake to give to this young lady on her wedding day. She's crying. She don't know what to do. She feels lost. She calls her grandmother and says, "Can I talk to you?" The grandmother hears everything that her granddaughter is saying and she sees this as an opportunity. She said, "Baby, come on over. I got you. Don't worry about it." The young lady kind of frustrated and irritated like, "Grandma, I'm trying to tell you what's going on and you telling me to come over there. What are you going to do for me?" The grandma said, "Baby, you forgot that I bake. Please, come on." So the young lady get over there. The grandma said, "I'm going to bake my cupcakes because everybody love my cupcakes." The young lady says, "Grandma, they don't want no cupcakes. They want a cake." The grandmother looked at her granddaughter and said, "Listen, I don't know about you, but I see an opportunity. You already failed at making this young lady a cake. The least you can do is give her something." The grandmother touched her shoulder and said, "I promise you, this is going to be a success." Young lady irritated, frustrated, but grandma got a point. So they made the cupcakes. So once the young lady went to the wedding with the cupcakes, her friend was a little irritated. She said, "Girl, I thought you were supposed to bake her a cake." The young lady said, "Listen, these cupcakes fire. They gonna love these cupcakes." She like, "No, they gotta cut the cake and do this and do that." She like, "I understand that, but trust me, they gonna love these cupcakes." The friend is furious and said, "Yo, you messed this up for me. I'm irritated." Now she feels like a failure. She feels down. She feels sad. So once the wedding go on, everybody having fun, enjoying themselves, and now everybody's eating the cupcakes. Now everybody at the wedding is saying these the best cupcakes they ever had in their life. They asking the bride and the groom, "Yo, who did y'all get the cupcakes from? Because I want to buy some cupcakes." The bride and groom had a friend rearranging the wedding. They like, "You got to talk to them." So the young lady friend that was so irritated about the cupcakes, everybody giving her compliments. "Hey, whoever you got to make these cupcakes, they are the best cupcakes I ever had. Can you please tell me who made them?" The best friend is shocked because she getting so many compliments. So she finds her friend with her grandmother and says, "Hey, these cupcakes are a smash hit in here." The young lady said, "What you mean?" She said, "Girl, Everybody asking me about these cupcakes. They say they love these cupcakes. The young lady said, wait, really? She said, yes, you got a whole bunch of business people in here asking for these cupcakes. She said, no way. Next thing you know, the young lady finds her grandmother and says, Grandma, they love your cupcakes so much that everybody giving us compliments. The grandma said, see, I told you, look at God. She said, wait, Grandma, these just compliments. It ain't like we going nowhere. The grandma looked at her and said, baby, this is where the journey begins. Deep down inside, the young lady like, whatever, Grandma. The grandma said, I know what you're thinking, but watch what I tell you. So once they leave the party, the next day, the young lady gets a call that somebody wanted to place an order for the cupcakes. So when she gets on the phone with the young man, she said, how many cupcakes would you like? He said, do you think you can do 500? She said, whoa, 500? He said, yeah, is that too much to ask? She said, no, that'll be fine. And then he said, how much would you charge me? She said, you know what? I haven't even came up with a price yet. He said, it's okay. I'll give you $1,000 for 500 cupcakes. She freaked out. She said, okay, that'll be good. She goes deliver the cupcakes. Everybody is in love with the cupcakes. Next thing you know, somebody else calls her phone. The next day, somebody else calls her phone. A couple more days, more people call the phone. And now all these business events that she goes to, she constantly keep getting more clientele. This young lady was getting so many orders that she decided to quit her 9 to 5 because she was making that much money. This young woman is in tears now because she has so many orders that she has to do. And this is the most money she ever seen in her bank account. She started hiring family members and friends to help bake the cookies in the house. One day they in the kitchen. Her grandmother is smiling at her while she making the cupcakes. She looks at her grandma and said, what you smiling for? She said, you remember I told you all this was gonna happen? She said, Grandma, I'm gonna give it to you. You was right. But I still wanna have my own restaurant. The grandmother laughed and chuckled and said, baby, you just don't know. That's next. She rolled her eyes and said, okay, Grandma. Grandma said, I know you don't believe me, but watch what happened. So now this young lady invests in the spot and the business is booming. The line at the bakery shop is out the door. It was so bad that they had to get a second location. This young woman is the happiest she ever been. Her grandmother is in the bakery shop every day because that was her dream and she got to live it. But one day, somebody came around her and her grandmother and they was pretty sick. And her grandmother got sick. So she just hired a guy named Sean to manage both of the spots. And since she finna be gone for a little bit, Sean is taking over for her to make sure that everything keeps running well. Now that her and her grandmother are sick, they both trying to come up with a plan to build a restaurant. The grandmother got her dream, and now the granddaughter is chasing hers. So the plan that they came up with is try to make a menu so when people come into the bakery shop, they can also order something on her food menu. And it would never work. Nobody was buying food. They was only buying cupcakes and cookies. She was down and depressed about that. Sean did tell her some ideas that would work, but she wasn't trying to hear it. So Sean took it upon himself since she was gone to make a smaller menu and to start giving out test samples. And from that point, everything went bad. When Sean shortened the menu and gave out test samples, everybody tasted the food and started ordering the food as well. They couldn't keep up with the demands. See, Sean kept this for a secret until she got back. But they was booming so much that Sean had to call and tell her what was going on. So Sean says, I got some good news and bad news. Which one you want to hear first? She smacks her head and says, give me the bad news. He said, the bad news, we running out of food. She gets mad and irritated. What you mean running out of food? We got a lot of food in there. He said, no, but the food is selling. She is so amazed. What do you mean the food is selling? He said, I started giving out free samples and people started ordering the food like crazy. And he said, we don't got no more food in here. We need to get some more food ASAP. She's sick as heck, jumping up for joy because now she feel like her dream is coming true. So that she jumping up screaming, she says, Grandma, my food is selling. My food is selling. The grandma says, see, I told you this was going to happen. So the video is at 10 minutes now and I'm running out of time. But if you want part 2, type part 2 in the comments and I'm going to post the video right away. Let me know what you think in the comments, and to all the cool people that follow me, I'm going to see you in the next video.